Hey everybody, it's Michael here from GetFitOver40.com. I have a video here that I'm not even sure what I'm going to call it. It's kind of an update video, a long overdue update video for the Samsung Galaxy Watch 4, which is this one here. I did an unboxing kind of preview video, and I did mention I was going to talk about it more in depth after I used it, give a more thorough review. Hasn't happened. And kind of the reason for that is there was a whole bunch of updates that came out that kept improving it, and I kind of kept putting it off because each update made these little incremental improvements. Initially, there was some concerns I had with the watch, heart rate tracking and certain things that just weren't working very well, but those got improved. A lot of things got improved over time, and I decided to stick with the watch, and I do really love the Samsung Galaxy Watch 4 series. They've come out with the 5 series here, which is this one right here, the Galaxy Watch 5. I have the Pro, and I'll talk a little bit more about the differences. Well, I'll just mention it now. The difference between this 4 here, Galaxy Watch 4, and the 5 Pro is that, well, number one, this is the Pro version. It's a slightly larger watch. There's a bunch of things that they've improved on it. It's titanium. It has a larger battery. In terms of sensors and CPUs and processors and all that, they're very similar. They did add basically a body thermostat on this one it's not really even actually being used yet, but down the road, they're hopefully going to be using that heat sensor for things like sleep tracking and different tracking to track your body temperature. That's new. There's a 5 non-Pro version that's almost identical to this one with just very, very slight differences. So if you do own the 4, the Galaxy Watch 4, I would suggest sticking with it. Don't necessarily need to upgrade to the 5 because the changes are so minimal. Essentially, they've just kind of changed the sensor position. They've made it stick out a little bit more. As far as I know, that's really the biggest difference. So it may track heart rate monitors slightly better. But other than that, as far as I know, they're very, very similar. There definitely are some improvements with this Galaxy Watch 5 Pro in terms of battery time. You're going to get a lot more battery time out of it, more days that you can use it before charging. It is a slightly bulkier watch. It is made out of titanium. It does have this sunken or this bezel that sticks out, which helps protect the screen. It is a really cool watch. It has a neat new styled watch band that's a little bit easier to put on because it's magnetic. So this video is really going to be an update, an unboxing video, and kind of a preview video of the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro. If you're going to stay and watch it, I'm going to be kind of jumping around a little bit. I might talk a little bit about the 5, what I like about it, why I'm sticking with the series. And again, I'll unbox this 5 so you can see what it looks like side by side. I'm not going to set it up on camera or anything like that. That'll be down the road. I'll do a video. I promise I'll do an update video where I go more into detail on it. At least details about what I find interesting for me. There are so many YouTube channels out there that do these review videos, these tech videos. I did start out the channel way back when doing fitness tech reviews. This was before everyone else was doing it. And the fitness tech was pretty simple. I mean, literally it was a strap you put on your wrist that tracked your steps and synced with your phone. You had no idea what was going on the strap until you looked at your phone. There was very few notifications. Sometimes you might get a text notification buzz on the strap if it had vibration. They were so simple. They were so easy to review. Now people spend their full time, it's their job reviewing these tech products, and they do amazing jobs. So you're probably better off, if you want to know all the ins and outs and every spec about these watches, watch a bunch of video reviews. I'm not the guy that's going to go into that detail. I kind of just talk about what I find this device or the device I'm reviewing and how it's important to me and what I like about it. Okay, so let's kind of open this up, do a quick unboxing. We'll take a look at it real quick here. Not much going on in the box. Obviously a whole bunch of stuff there, but I'm not going to go into there. This is the Bluetooth Wi-Fi GPS version. It's not the LTE version. I've never been that interested in having cellular capabilities on my watches. It's just not important to me. I usually have my phone with me. I always have my phone with me, so it's not important. All right, so here's the watch. I got the black one. You can get a sort of silver gray version. All right, you can see that it's a fairly bulky watch. Okay. You have this new magnetic design here. Let's pull this off. It's got this clasp now, right? Neat clasp. So this goes through here. You set up the length. You set up the sort of wrist size there, right? And then you can clasp it in and out. Okay, I'm not going to do that yet. On the back, you can see you have the sensor. That is the new thermostat sensor right there. I don't know if it's enabled yet, but that's something that might be utilized more in the future. This does have a sapphire crystal. It is GPS 5 ATM. As compared, a little dirty. Sorry, this one gets used, right? It's a Galaxy Watch. Doesn't really say too much on the back here. All right, made in Vietnam. Interesting. This one has Gorilla Glass. It's not sapphire. Now you'll notice on mine, I do have this ring that I put on it. So this is an addition. And the reason I put this ring, this bezel, doesn't move or anything. I like the look of it, especially when you have a screen like this. If you have a watch face like this, it looks really good. And it also, as you can see here, it places the glass recessed so that if I hit something, I'm not hitting the glass generally, I'm hitting this bezel. And if I were to damage this bezel, and you'll notice that there's probably a few scratches on it and dings and nicks and stuff. But it's holding out really well. I've had this ring on here, this bezel on, since I got it. And it protects it. It's only like $15 or $20. It just sticks on. It's like a sticky tape, double-sided, that's on when you put it on. And it hasn't come off. I haven't tried to take it off, and it's worked really, really well. So you'll notice you still have the buttons here, but they're smaller, right? You don't have as much of a protruding, right, sensors. The buttons themselves, much more robust, larger. The watch itself is much bigger. It's a bigger watch. This is a 44, I believe, and this is a 45, so it's slightly bigger, but it does look and feel bigger. This is aluminum, this is titanium, okay? But the watch bands are the same. They're all 20 millimeter. This is a 20 millimeter watch band. So I can mix and match all my colorful watch bands that I bought for my 4. I can use them on this 5 Pro, no problem. All right, in this little box, you do get, if I can get this out, you do get the charging. It's basically a magnetic charger. You see it just sort of sticks on there. And so you can do wireless charging. It is wireless magnetic charger. They've gone with this type of a USB-C connector, so you could plug it into your phone and charge it from your phone if you needed to, or you could magnetically charge from your phone if your phone supports that. Or you're going to have to get an adapter that uses USB-C and then plugs into a wall port. You have to figure that out. But you know, you can't use the standard USB connector to a standard USB connector adapter. I don't believe there's too much else in here. Maybe some paperwork. All right, just a little guide here, quick start guide. Talks about the buttons, the sensor a little bit. It's got that infrared temperature sensor. There's the microphone on the side. All right, optical heart rate sensor, back battery, home key, speaker. How to adjust the strap. Okay. I guess so one of the questions you might be asking is, hey Mike, why are you upgrading? Why are you sticking with the Galaxy series? I've used tons of different watches. I've used Garmin's. I even used Apple back in the day when I had an iPhone. And you know, the experience on an iPhone with an Apple Watch is really good. If you are an iPhone user, you really can't go wrong with an Apple Watch, especially if you want that smartphone integration. The Galaxy Watch, if you have a Samsung phone, is kind of the same experience as what you would have with an Apple Watch and an iPhone. It's just they're so integrated. Now, there are other Android watches out there, but they don't integrate quite as well as the Galaxy watches do with the Samsung devices. And that said, I have the Samsung Galaxy phone here, right? So we have the Galaxy phone. So it's super integrated with the Galaxy series watches. Now, some of the things that I really like about the Galaxy series watches, well, the integration, the ability to use speakerphone, the Bluetooth, the maps that come on. So when I use Google Maps, the maps show up on the watch. I can look at the watch. I don't even have to take the phone out of my pocket if I'm walking around downtown. I can just look at my watch and it shows me a little map on there, tells me when to turn. That's super cool. Anybody calls me, I can reply. I can speak to them on my watch. I can text reply them. Fully integrated. If I set an alarm on my phone, it then buzzes on my watch. Like total integration when it comes to multi-app usage. One of the concerns I had was the fact that these Galaxy watches, and I don't know why, but for some reason, Samsung doesn't like to allow any type of heart rate monitor to be connected to the watch through its own native system or through its own apps, its health apps. So the basic Samsung Health apps that are built in. I don't know why. Everybody asks them to do it. Everybody talks about it. There are third-party apps that do this, but they don't really allow you to get that heart rate data from your heart rate monitor, so a chest strap one or whatever, and then get that into the Samsung Health app series of apps. So it's almost useless. You can kind of sync it with Strava and other ones, but if you want to utilize Samsung Health apps, then you can't do it with an external heart rate monitor. That was a big problem for me, but what I found is that the heart rate monitor on this watch works very well, with the odd exception. I would say 95 to 99% of the time it tracks very well, it's fairly accurate, but then every once in a while it just, for whatever reasons, just loses it. Sometimes it'll lose it for like 30 seconds, sometimes it'll just lose it completely, sometimes it'll track way higher or lower than it should, but it's very rare that it does it, and generally speaking, when it does it, it'll only do it for a short period of time, and then it figures it out and gets locked back on. Every once in a blue moon, I might have to stop my workout session, kind of reset the watch, and then start over again, but that is a very rare exception that has ever happened. So I'm happy to say I don't need a heart rate monitor, and that's kind of cool because using one and syncing it to your watch, there's always those times when it doesn't sync properly, or you forget your heart rate strap, or your battery on your heart rate strap is dead, or something like that's going on. So you don't have to worry about those situations. You can just start the workout on your watch and the heart rate monitor starts tracking, everything starts going, and you get a pretty good workout. The other thing that I was a bit concerned with the Samsung Health apps is that when you track things like workouts, originally I would say a year to a year and a half ago, those workouts didn't really consider your heart rate. It was just looking at the workout time. Thankfully, Samsung addressed this, and it does actually incorporate your heart rate into the workout, how many calories you're burning, and I know this because I literally do the same workouts every day. They're about the same amount of time. And if my heart rate is higher for one workout than the other because I'm working a little harder or doing a muscle group that requires a little more stress on my body and my heart rate jumps up, I do get more calories burned for that workout. So I know it is in fact looking at calories burned and heart rate and all of that to figure it all out. Now there's a ton of things that I love about the Samsung Galaxy Watch, one of which is the actual Samsung Health app. We'll just show you it here. And I'll just show you like, oh, what's going on? Okay, and I'll just show you like, for instance, today I went for a walk. Let's take a quick look. And you can see here, you've got all your information. You can see my heart rate, right? Average heart rate was 116. It went up to 127. Average speed, 3 miles per hour. It's got everything there. You've got graphs. You've got a map of your walk. I just went up and down the street. You have a heart rate recovery. I mean, it's very, very useful. If I look at, say, yesterday's weight training workout, you can see here my heart rate, right? Everything, average beats per minute, highest heart rate. I want to see if I can find one where it might have kicked out for a second so I can kind of show you. Okay, no, not that one. Let's see here, sometimes. So you can see I'm getting the heart rate's fine. Like most of the time, it's actually hard to find one where the heart rate didn't work. So I'm going to try to do that. Okay, so there you can see the heart rate just for that little bit, that little dotted line, it kicked out for whatever reason. And then usually when that happens, it'll kick in low and then adjust back to where it should be. So it sort of freaks out, doesn't know what's going on, comes in a little lower than it should be, and then reevaluates itself and then gets back on track. So if you can live with that, then you could probably live without wearing a heart rate monitor. This watch is very accurate. And I expect the 5 Pro to be even better, or at least the same. If it's the same, I'll be totally happy. I do like how you get your daily activity here. So this is today. If I look at yesterday, I can see all of my steps, my active time, my active calories. So that's how many calories I burned doing activities. And for me, that's important to know. That was a day that I didn't do any workouts, right? So most days I'm getting well above 1,000 calories. Anywhere from 1,000 to 1,300, sometimes as much as 1,500. But excellent app. This is one of the best apps you can get If we look at sleep tracking, you've got your sleep tracking. I did sleep more than that, but anyways. You can even look at blood oxygen levels. Mine can be bad sometimes. Depends. So this would have been, I believe, last night, 80 to 97. That's not good. I do have a bit of sleep apnea. I stop breathing sometimes, and so my blood oxygen drops. It shouldn't really drop below 90. Mine will drop sometimes a little bit, just the way it is. Not much I can do about it unless I want to get on a machine, and I don't really want to do that. Sometimes it'll actually wake me up because I stop breathing. It just happens. All right, so I'm kind of excited. I want to get this set up. I'm going to be adding it to my phone as a new watch, getting rid of this one, or not getting rid of it, but putting it on the sideline for now. Probably be selling it. So when I do show this all working stuff, I probably won't be able to compare the two watches, but for now you can kind of see what they look like side by side. It's pretty good. In the future, I'll have more information on this one. Hopefully it works just as good, if not better. I expect it to be better. It is the 5. It should be better, right? So let's find out in the near future how good this watch is. All right, so for now, we'll just sort of turn it on, see if it kicks up. There you go, right? It's got some power. We'll see what happens here. It's probably going to want me to set it up, but I'll do that in my time, and we'll get back to you in a few weeks with an update on how it's performing. All right, thanks for watching another GetFitOver40.com video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check me out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Until next time, take care.